Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon.
Happy Good evening, wherever you are. Hey, thanks for joining us, and late, but for good reason. We're joined today by the wonderful Matt. Hey, Matt.
Good morning, everyone. How's it going?
Hello. Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Yeah,
good. Fantastic. This
was the only one without cold today.
Yeah, Marcin and I both have cold, so we're kind of not looking forward to this episode. But thankfully, Matt doesn't, so Matt can talk a lot.
Yes. And it's your first umbraCoffee, Matt, right? So that's definitely a full nice path to achieve and receive an umbraCoffee mug at one point.
You say umbraCoffee mugs, Marcin. I don't think there's any left.
I have a couple of them in Poland.
All right,
I have a couple of them in Poland, but
I
will bring them for the next potential opportunity whenever I'll be anywhere.
Oh, I've got one as well, but yeah, all good. Yeah, Marcin and I both had colds. Matt's here. Thank you, Matt. We've actually been in the background, maybe unbeknownst to Matt, planning this for a while, because Steve, your colleague, basically said Matt's going to come on and demo this thing at some point, and then he tweeted this morning, and so with 3 minutes, Matt joined, which wasn't the intention. It was supposed to be in a few weeks' time, but hey, it's awesome. It at least makes this episode a little bit more interesting.
Yes, but Callum, also to make it maybe reflecting the current situation and to make it really, really special. I think this is the time where we really need to be serious and give a moment of silence for our good beloved friend that we lost last week, right? So yeah, let's do it. So rest in peace, Slack, umbraCoffee Slack, and this is the moment. And we are back. So yeah, are we on Discord now?
No, we are not. I've not joined. I'm not planning to join Discord. It's a real shame that Slack's gone. I liked it. I think, it was. It was. It's a shame that it's gone.
But you've shared, Callum, a really nice kind of set of things that were happening over the years on umbraCoffee Slack. All the gates, Tabgate,
Togglegate. Yeah.
Togglegate. Yeah.
I was going to say, Marcin, so we've obviously been doing umbraCoffee for 5.5 years now. And actually, the umbraCoffee Slack has been a huge part of that because Busra genuinely thought someone died. I'm sorry, Busra. No. Slack, a little piece of my soul. The Slack channel's obviously gone, but with umbraCoffee, after in the post-Coldworks era, Marcin, we've used that daily to plan weekly episodes, to find potential guests to come on, it's been a huge part of that. It's been a great way for people to connect. I've helped out a bunch of people on there in the past. It was a good platform. I'm sure Discord's the same. Scott's asking, why don't I like Discord? It's just because it's not usable.
It's not like that's not usable. But Matt, have you been using Slack community on your side?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
I'm pretty new to the Umbraco community. Although I've worked on Umbraco sites for years, I'm pretty new to the community. So yeah, I haven't joined that yet.
Fair enough. What about Discord? Are you a Discord user?
We use Discord for gaming at work.
I was going to say, I can see a lot of games in the background, and Steve just...
Yeah, a bit of a retro gamer. Got a CRT as well, if you can see that.
That's crazy. Yeah. So you will probably join the umbraCoffee on Discord, and from what we can see, the 12 people are now even watching umbraCoffee on Discord. So that's probably the one.
That's nearly as many as the 2,000 people that are in the Slack channel. That's amazing.
Yeah. So definitely it's a huge part that were crossed over, but that was a decision that was made a while ago, and now community is officially on Discord and other tools, of course. Still, Twitter is alive and doing pretty well in terms of Umbraco hashtag and everything what is around Umbraco. And that's what we use to collect also some news and information about what's happening in the Umbraco sphere. But
very much. Let's also say, actually, we've got a couple of, let's say, informants that help us each week by sending us links. So this week, both Jerome Brewer and also Michael Latush have sent us links ahead of time saying, you might want to feature this. This would be quite cool. So people are helping out in other ways. So please, if you'd like something promoted or you've seen something cool you'd like us to talk about, mention it.
Yep.
Anyway, should we jump into some news, Marcin? Yes,
Yes,
is
of
out
course.
here, but we can move on. Let's start with the product update. So Runa shared the latest product update, and it's mostly Umbraco Cloud focused, I'd suggest. It's new cloud region in the UK, of course. We've got new cloud features such as the kind of the invite flow and two-factor auth, which is looking awesome. Yeah, that's cloud. Umbraco 11.2 is, of course, out. It was out last week. It's, as I described it in the past, the dependency update. It's improving cross-platform support and other things. We've got some CMS integrations that are out. Again, we featured those recently, and new patches for various different Umbraco products also. So a new Umbraco 11.1 workflow version's coming out, or 0.1 version of workflow for 10 and 11. That'll be exciting, as will forms, new UUI updates, the lot. It seems like they're quite busy. Core Collabs team, of course, we discussed last week. There's a lot going on there. So
yeah. And what you scrolled over is like updates in the roadmap, but I think also from the Umbraco perspective, there's a lot of focus on the headless APIs now. We had also a headless community team meeting this week, which was really interesting because again we approach a lot of headless discussions, and we've seen an update on where the headless APIs are right now in the Umbraco implementation, and it's looking really good. And so yeah,
I'm glad you've said that, Marcin, because I didn't want to receive another axe. But yes, I've also seen it this week. And it's looking really cool. I know that next week at Spark, Alitza is going to be doing a talk about the new Open API work. And I have to say, Ken, who was kind of doing the demo for me this week, was incredibly receptive to feedback. And it's still very much like, we don't know how we're going to handle this just yet. Like, let us know what you think, type thing. It's looking really awesome. So also, we've this week, a new front-end developer started with us, and they're an incredibly big like Jamstack fan, and so this really unlocks a lot of possibilities for, we're not typically using fully headless CMSs, but to be able to use the content API to do those sorts of things, it's going to be awesome. And Ken again had a Next.js demo app that he was using against the API, which is the exact tech stack that our new dev loves. So yeah, no.
There is a lot of excitement about this headless coming in the Umbraco itself, right? So that's definitely something what we are all awaiting, and it's new in now because it's being already implemented, but the state of it is really evolved, I would say. But of course, there's a lot of work to be made.
This one, pre-installed packages and projects, is the thing I'm most excited about, because ultimately I've been ranting about this for years, but I'd love to be able to go to the marketplace and select, hey, I want vendor, and it spins up a cloud trial with vendor installed, and next best thing would be also with licenses managed in the back office and stuff. We'll get there eventually, but it's slowly happening, so that's awesome. And again, the lazy loaded content in the cache and some other stuff was touched upon as part of these calls this week too. So great progress going on in the Umbraco world. I didn't think I'd get excited about the headless API, but I did when I saw it, so that's really good. Anyway, should we move on to packages? And we'll start with our guest, Accessibility Reporter. So this is a new tool, as far as I know, that allows you to analyze the accessibility of your page from directly within the back office. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah, it's sort of inspired by one of our clients had a demo with a company which were charging lots of money for doing accessibility reports against pages. So I thought, I could just make something for free and put it in Umbraco because that's what they use. So it's a little content app which runs a report against the current page. If I can demo, share my screen if you want. Okay. Cool. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, it's a little content app.
But probably not this screen.
Probably not the right screen.
Oh no!
Ours.
How do I share? Oh yeah, share the entire screen. That might work.
There we go.
Cool. Yeah. So it's a little content app, which only works in Umbraco 11 at the moment because I was playing around with the new web component stuff. I didn't actually realize that you can just use it in Umbraco 11 already, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I've sort of faked this for the moment by putting the host name to the Gibe website. So this is actually running against the Gibe Digital website.
You're going to expose your own website, are you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Stephen, my boss, only gave me 2 minutes before this to spin something
enough.
together. So yeah, it runs against the current live version of the page. So it displays the number of failed, incomplete, and passed tests. So it's using a library called AXA Core, which in the sort of accessibility world is quite a well-known library for testing pages. So when you hit the content app, it makes them a request to a little Azure function, which just spins up Puppeteer and then runs AXA Core against the page. So as you can see on the Gibe website, we've got some color contrast issues, which are failing against web content accessibility guidelines. And you can view more details about which elements are failing. And it gives you a little summary of how you can fix those. So in this case, there's quite a few color contrast issues, 14 on this page. And also categorize it by impact. So there's like critical, serious, moderate, and low. So you can sort of prioritize which ones you want to fix. Also has a section called incomplete tests. Now these are tests where it couldn't fail or pass it because either something was in the way. For example, these color contrast tests, it couldn't determine because the text was over an image. So these are basically pointing out manual tests that you'll have to do yourselves. It could also happen as there's like a pseudo element over something. Basically, it can't categorically pass or fail it. And then also shows you your pass tests, which just makes you feel happy if that's a large number. It's just nice to know. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, the idea is just to help.
Can I ask some questions about this AXA Core thing?
Yeah, sure.
So you said it's running in an Azure function, so that calls off to an external function that I guess you're hosting.
Yes, yeah, that I'm hosting at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so if someone installs this on their own site, how do they set that up?
So at the moment, it's just they don't set it up. It's just running against this Azure function. I might have to change in the future so that they set up their own function. So I don't have to pay for it. But yeah, at the moment, it's just there's zero configuration.
Oh, lovely. That's awesome. So it does mean that the website has to be publicly accessible so that
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it has to be publicly accessible. It would just show you a failure message if it isn't. So yeah, that's one of the limitations.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of a way around it at the moment.
No. Well, other than if you were to run that tool locally, if I don't know how that tool, that AXA Core thing works, unless it could be ran on your local machine or something.
And is this library free, by the way?
Yes, it's a free library. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
So if any costs are attached, because Sean asked about any costs involved in running this, so I believe the only cost would be on this function or anything that will run the application.
Yeah. The only cost is on the Azure function, which I'm paying for at the moment. Obviously, hardly anyone's using it, but yeah, I might have to change it so that there's some steps to set up your.
It's a pretty generous allowance on functions.
Yeah, it would have to be really high traffic to actually cost too much money.
We'd love to see the whole Umbraco community using this, but let's assume that won't happen just now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, realistically.
That's cool. So it's a node tool to actually do the scan then, and that's just running.
Yeah. So the Azure function is a node Azure function which spins up Puppeteer, which is headless Chrome, and then it runs this AXA Core library against it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It just returns the results. So the content app is basically it's just displaying the results.
Very nice.
Yeah, it'd be good to get
Nice.
some feedback on how this looks, because as I said, I'm new to the Umbraco community, so I just I had a look at this storyboard storybook for the new UI components, and then just use those basically.
This is completely using the new UI components as far as
mainly, yes, except a few little like these circles and things.
Custom, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, even
it looks great, by the way. So that's the thing. I was working on something similar for Lighthouse back in the days. I wanted to just do the same similar exposure of the Lighthouse scans through the content app, but I didn't finish it. And this looks exactly how it could be looking also for Lighthouse performance and stuff like that. So
exactly. Well, I was thinking the same idea. I could do exactly the same as this for Lighthouse, but that should be pretty
cool.
Simple.
Maybe you will be more determined than to do it. Please do.
But also, I'm not sure whether there are any like accessibility content apps or anything similar for Umbraco at the moment. All I saw was on the Umbraco marketplace. There's basically nothing for accessibility.
Indeed. There was so Nathan Wolf made a package a while ago called Pre-Flight, but it was more about checking for things in your page, like broken links, and it would allow a set of configurable tasks to run on publish, or just whenever you wanted to run the checks, I think. And so I think you could bake something similar in, but it wouldn't be giving you any kind of detailed overview like this. It would just be purely a kind of pass fail, maybe with a bit of information. So this is definitely very valuable. I think as well, there's other accessibility testing tools as part of the Umbraco Community Day. I think it was, we had a demo from Microsoft of like a browser-based accessibility insights tool that will highlight certain things, and we discussed on that it would be cool to maybe integrate somehow into. Oh, you've got it. You even got it.
Yeah.
Have that even integrate into Umbraco in some way. I can see this becoming a sort of a platform for other accessibility tests, etc. In everyone's Umbraco sites.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked into this Microsoft tool too much, but I could have a look and see if I can get it.
I mean, I think it's quite different to the Axe Core one that you're using, because it's not generating a report, like outputting a report as such. It's just in the page highlighting where certain problems might exist.
I recall seeing Wave in a lot of the projects and the clients' work previously. I don't know if you know it, Matt. It was it's Wave.
We use Wave quite a lot.
Yeah, that's also very, very handy. It has a lot of options, and as someone asked on the chat, is there an opportunity to turn off some of the checks or to hide it?
Yeah, there certainly would be. So, for example, some of them, like best practice, they're not strictly web content accessibility guideline failures, so we could turn them off. So I could add some options to it to make it a bit more configurable. Yeah.
And are you configuring certain rules and tests in your Node app, or are these just the kind of off-the-shelf, whatever it works?
It's mainly the default settings for Axe Core at the moment. I did tweak something so it wasn't returning a set of results which I didn't need. But at the moment it's pretty much using their default settings. But there are settings for running certain rules, so it's definitely an idea to make that a bit more configurable. If, for example, your site is only aiming for level A, then it doesn't need to run the color contrast checks.
Sure. That's awesome. And so if I just rejoin the screen share here, so of course there's a GitHub repo for this. It's all publicly available, open source for the actual backops package, which is awesome. So I guess people can contribute if they've got an idea. I was going to ask if the function side of things could be open sourced as well, if it's just a Node app.
I certainly do that. Tidy up and open source it.
Tidying it up is always the biggest part of open sourcing anything, right? So that's really, really awesome. I can think of so many ways that even just little improvements could be made to really level this up. I saw there that Axe Core supports like multilingual as well.
Exactly. I would definitely like to localize it a bit.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
If someone's up for helping. Also, it'd be good to know if there's any examples of content apps which do have like configurable options. Because as I said, I'm pretty new to Umbraco, so I couldn't really, from the documentation, I couldn't work out how to add like some options to it.
Yeah, it's not straightforward. I'll send you some code because I've been meaning to open source. People keep nagging me. I showed in my Code Garden talk last year a way of having configurable options saved in your database for a package, and the docs are very poor in that regard. So I'll send you some code after this, but it's definitely possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, this looks really awesome. As clearly everyone in the chat saying as well, a lot of excitement for this. The other thing I'm pretty excited about is I think this is probably the first Umbraco package that's purely using the UUI components, or one of the first, because maybe a few people have added them in here and there, but you've kind of built the entire thing off the bat with UUI.
I did find a few problems, like some of the Angular binding wasn't working very well with the new web components.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's fairly nice to use. Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, kudos, Matt. That's awesome. And of course, people in the chat who are interested, will make sure to include a link down below. This will be an interesting one. Alrighty, we've got a couple other news items to discuss. One of them is a package update from Lee Kelleher, who I think is also one of your colleagues, Matt, at the moment, at least.
Yeah.
So Lee's obviously, his famous contentment package is getting regular updates, and this time includes some improvements to the data list, and also has added reference tracking support. So that's the new feature in Umbraco, where you can alert someone when they try and delete something to say, hey, this is used somewhere else. So the data list now supports that as well. So does content blocks. And yeah, there's a nice update for you for contentment. Some other new packages this week, one from Carl Saguna, or is it new? I'm not quite sure. Let's just quickly check new. That's a broken link. Quickly check NuGet. Yes, it's new. Congrats, Carl. Simple form for Umbraco. So it's like a very, very simple contact form. Basically, you can just embed into your site without requiring any backend code. This is really nice, especially if you don't want to go all out and pay for like a full Umbraco Forms license.
Yeah. Do you remember, Callum, the templates in the editor back in the days where you could include snippet for the forms like this?
Yes,
it was in the templates. It was like
it was in the it was in the thing. Carl, you can't blame me for promoting it. It's already on the marketplace. So
yeah.
Anyway, another one from Hugh Reddick, who's created a full calendar block item. It's basically a inline calendar as a block list item. It's pretty cool looking. So you can have again, we've had this in sites where they need the ability to manage dates, and it's never that friendly. So this looks really awesome. Well done, Hugh. And finally, back office editor view from Umbraco from Richard Ockerby. Marcin, you've tried this before, haven't you? I think at Cogworks there was a sort of showing who's editing a page, locking pages.
Yes. And I did the content guard package myself as well back in the days, which was locking the page from being accessed by another editor. And you could take over the ownership of the page. But yeah, this looks like something what could be merged into this one. So, and despite of the need, you can either block or just see that someone else is editing. But yeah, I noticed it and I found it really, really nice to check out.
It's something we get asked about so often, where maybe once a month an editor overwrites another editor simultaneously and goes, "Where's all my content gone?" Well, you both hit save at the same time, or it would be really helpful to have, at least even in the core. So awesome work there, Richard. Moving on quickly to some meetups. There's meetups coming up. The Umbraco Sydney meetup is back. I think it's their first one this year, with a hybrid session from Robert Foster, who's going to be at the Microsoft Reactor in Sydney, or you can join virtually if you want. And he's going to be talking about... Great question. What is he talking about? It's some integration things. Anyway, yeah, go sign up for that on Meetup if you're in Australia or interested.
Stripe and SMS gateways.
There we go.
Yeah, that is a nice topic. And Spark, right?
Umbraco Spark, it's coming, it's happening, it's only a week away. Matt, you excited?
Yep, really excited. We've got the hackathon on Thursday as well. So
Yes, you have. You read my mind. It's here. The hackathon link. Go sign up, of course. Links down below. It's from 10 till 5:30 CET. So 9 till 4:30 GMT. Nice and confusing. But it's at Gibe Digital. And yeah, you can go. And I think it's going to be largely focused around like some of the new stuff. So, back office, etc. that's happening, or UUI might be a good way to get stuck in with those sorts of things. So go take a look. I also heard this week that the core team have been working hard on getting a list of like up for grabs issues available as well, with more detail about what would make a good contribution for that issue. So that's fantastic. Sean saying he's hoovered the office. Well done, Sean. We'll see you next week. Matt, give us a sense of what's going on behind the scenes. I obviously, having run big events before, know it's usually chaos the week before an event, but what's the feeling?
Yeah, lots going on. I think we received some of the swag today, so t-shirts and notebooks and pens and stuff, looking good. Yeah, lots of planning going on.
Yeah, it's not that much stress, to be fair. It's like it's not a panic, but probably also what helped is like that the event was already sold out on an early kind of phase, right? So that's definitely make it easier.
Yeah, it sold out pretty quickly, and had lots of requests for more tickets and things. But yeah.
There is also this week of course, Chrome's deciding to be annoying. There is the announcement of the full program and the kind of the running order for the day, with a keynote to kick off from Jacob and Lasse about the new back office, which is clearly a big focus. Then we've got a fantastic track of talks throughout the day, including umbraCoffee at 12:30. We'll be slightly later next week, but there will be a live umbraCoffee from Spark. So if you're not there in person, you can at least capture some of the atmosphere. And it was pointed out to me earlier in the week that I'm the only person on this with my full name, which makes me feel very special, because everyone else has got just single first names, even down here, Callum, but up here I have my full name. Thank you, whoever made that.
VIP. I'm sad that I'm not joining, because I've met yesterday with Umbraco, because I'm currently in London. Umbraco already sent some people who are until then, at least, staying in UK. So that's definitely a nice event, and everyone will probably be happy after all. So I'm looking forward for the maybe not recording, but maybe recap of the Umbraco Spark after all, the week after.
Indeed. There's the pre-party, of course, that's happening just after the hackathon. It's at Par 59. It's got some like crazy golf, mini golf, and darts and other things. There's also, if I'm right, an after party at the King Street Brew House. Does the agenda say it? It does, King Street Brew House. So you're welcome to network and join and, share some more of the community love after the event as well. Looking forward to it. Should be good. Code Garden, of course, you've got 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to get your early bird tickets still to save on your tickets. Go buy those now. There's also some new speakers that have showed up on here, or at least a little bit more information about what people will be talking about. So Nathan, kind of predictably, is going to talk about Plumber and getting to know or new Umbraco workflow. Alyssa is going to be doing a rendition of the same sort of talk she's doing at Spark around the new content API. Equally really exciting. Jacob's doing a back office one. Julia's doing web components crash course. I think also some external speakers finally having their talks now. So Adam's going to be talking about focusing on your code quality and how to prioritize that in your teams. Morton's got a very sassy sounding talk here with this headless CMS talk. We'll see. I wonder if there'll be tacos as there's been in previous years. Please, Morton, please. And then a few other TBD ones, but should be awesome. Go get your tickets if you haven't got them already. We have an Umbraco London meetup. Oh, you get to see behind the scenes as an organizer. It's not announced yet, but there is a Umbraco London meetup. It will be at Hugo and Cat on the 23rd in London. Go sign up in person this one. And finally, Code Cabin applications are open until July the 7th for the event, which is on the 8th till the 11th of September. Go apply for that. It will be a really good event also, not one to miss. Very quickly, a few final things. Link from Jerome Brewer, virtual members in Umbraco. So being able to kind of use an external login source and have those provided as members. Well, he's got a great blog that shows you exactly how you can do this in the very latest Umbraco 11. So go check that out if that's of interest. Sebastian on Twitter has shown how he hosted an Umbraco site for a whopping $0 for a month on Azure, which is really awesome. And he's promised a blog coming up soon. So I'm intrigued to see this one. There was a bit of debate with Matt Hart as well on Twitter about how practical this actually is. Of course, it's just an example, but in this case, what I believe is happening is Seb is hosting the database in SQLite and is using the Azure Linux free tier where you can host your app, and effectively to deploy content, he's pushing the SQLite database to the app service. But that's a very cool approach. I look forward to the blog post on this one.
But to be fair, I relate back a lot to the Troy's Hand blog post about his costs of running Have I Been Pwned?
Like
a lot.
$25 a month.
For 5. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But that's such a good content and such a good stories to be shared. Right?
The slightly misleading thing with that story is he was being given Cloudflare's like enterprise plan for free by Cloudflare and wasn't paying bandwidth there. But at the same time, you could put the free Cloudflare in front of it and get more or less a similar result. Maybe not quite at that scale, but it's very impressive. And finally, we'll finish up with a pull request of the week, which I really love this one. This is from, actually, I don't know, someone's username, Menno. Basically, if you've got variant content in the list view, and currently if you try and save and publish that, it doesn't let you choose the variant, but now it does. So you can specifically say, I want to publish this variant of content, and this is just going to be so much nicer to work with when you're doing multilingual content in Umbraco. And that was the news. That's everything. Did I miss anything?
Of course. Probably. Yeah. But that was a lot. And speaking about pull requests, Michael also mentioned it to us in the message that it was such a hard to pick the best one because there's so many things happening, and the hackathon next week as well. So there is a lot to discuss later on, right? So that's exciting. There's a lot of things happening, right? So that's good.
Yeah.
If we missed anything, of course, let us know, everyone. That would be as usual. And Matt, do you have anything else to add? Anything else what you are working on exciting? Of course, outside of the Spark preparations.
Not at the moment, no. Yeah, just concentrating on Spark, my accessibility content app. But yeah, might do a Lighthouse one now. You've reminded me about it.
Great idea.
Might be really nice. Exactly. So cool. Definitely, everyone who's seen the package and wants to use it, test it out, share feedback with Matt, and submit some ideas for extensions. And yeah, it looks good. And thanks Matt for joining again. And yeah, like, subscribe, share the episode. If anyone is interested in running this accessibility checks as well, share this video for the people to see how it works, what it does. And yeah, that's all for today.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, 12:30, an hour later than usual, live on umbraCoffee from Spark. But until then, have a great weekend, and thanks, Matt, again. We'll see you all soon. Bye bye.
Yeah. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye bye.
All right.